We've got add Creative.AI. This one I see everywhere. So this is AI generated visuals plus ad copy based on brand input. It is one that we have tried. The pros are that it gives you really fast generation of creative variations, and it actually can connect with Meta and Google to feed those through. So, for example, if you're a skincare brand, you can generate 20 creatives under 10 minutes and get that testing going with that offer, but using different visuals and hooks. And you're going to save a lot of time doing so. The massive con here, I feel, it still looks really templated and generic without customization. Stop and don't spend another single cent on advertising until you listen to this. I'm Marianne Amies. This is Ready, Set, Paid Ads, digital marketing for paid ad success. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Paid Ads. Today, I'm going to talk about the AI tech stack that every ad manager needs to be across. So if you're running paid ads and you're a one-person army, you're doing strategy, creative, testing, optimization. Number one, there's so much that goes into it. And number two, if you're not using AI, you're getting stuck in all this busy work and you're not focusing on the areas that can drive the most results. There are so many AI tools out there now that can help you, and that's multiplying every day. I don't know about you, but when I go on my TikTok, I'm constantly being fed reviews about AI ad tools, paid sponsorships about AI paid ads tools, and it can get really confusing. You can waste a lot of time just trying different tools. By the time you sign up to the free trial, put in the data or give it the brief and see what it can do, it's often hours later when you realize it's not a great tool. So today I'm going to run through some top tools you can consider adding to your tech stack. Not all of them I have tried first person, so I did do some research for today on some tools I've heard about to really find out the pros and cons on them. And then I'll share with you some of the tools I am using to give you some real life examples of how we use those too. So with any good ads campaign, our first phase is really about our strategy and planning. So the first tool I want you to consider popping in your tech stack is smartly.io. So this is all about cross-platform ad management and AI-powered campaign automation. So think about something that scales really well across Meta and TikTok and really great for rule-based optimizations. So if a brand's running Meta and TikTok ads, it can use Smartly to test your audience segments, automate budget relocation, and pause underperformers. And so what we're talking about here is cross-platform. So thinking about your holistic spend across TikTok and Meta, and having a tool that is comparing and contrasting how that performance is on both platforms to make sure that you're spending appropriately on each platform based on results, and that underperformers are getting turned off in the right places, and you're getting insights about what to back more and where. I guess the con of this one, it is probably better suited for teams and agencies as it's not particularly budget friendly, as you can imagine, given that it's giving cross-platform optimization. The next one is RevealBot. So again, rule-based automation and performance alerts. So this one's more budget friendly and it's around simple automation. It can do Slack and email alerts. So say you're an e-com and you've set a rule that you're going to increase your budget for certain ROAS or certain goals within the campaign, and you're going to pause it if it goes under that ROAS or it starts not meeting the goals of that campaign. So it's going to flag you that the alert you've asked for is happening, or that you've gone up over or you're sitting under, and so you then can go in and take that action. So I guess the con with this one, it still requires manual creative and audience strategy, but the pro is that it's going to help you with your strategy and help you be able to, I guess, proactively manage without having to physically be in there looking at the data every day yourself. It's taking away that legwork and freeing you up a little bit more. The other thing for strategy and planning is using tools like ChatGPT to help you flesh out your top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel strategy. Can also help you flesh out your target audience profiling as well. So getting really clear on who your ads are targeting and then the strategy you're going to take them through from awareness to trial to conversion can really be aided by ChatGPT, where you put in what you know, what your expertise is telling you, what data is telling you, and what your intuition is telling you, and let it help flesh out the detail of that so that you can then go through those ideas, shortcut that ideation, and really land on a strategy that's going to help you achieve those goals. So let's talk about creative development. We've got add Creative.AI. This one I see everywhere. So this is AI generated visuals plus ad copy based on brand input. It is one that we have tried. The pros are that it gives you really fast generation of creative variations, and it actually can connect with Meta and Google to feed those through. So for example, if you're a skincare brand, you can generate 20 creatives under 10 minutes and get that testing going with that offer, but using different visuals and hooks. And you're going to save a lot of time doing so. The massive con here, I feel, it still looks really templated and generic without customization. And then again, the different pricing levels allow you to do more. But I think there's a lot of great AI imagery generation going around, but we really need to make sure it still feels relevant. I think back my history of 15 years in digital and even Instagram accounts, look back on an Instagram strategy of 4 years ago, and the visual identity is very templated, very graphic driven. It's not as real and human, vibrant, connecting. I feel like with Ad Creative AI, you're getting a little bit of that Instagram 4 years ago feel through the creative. So just have a look at it, test it and see if it does resonate for your client base, but really make sure you're staying on brand as well. Then we've got Copy AI. So Copy AI is an ad copy generator. So your headlines, your CTAs, your descriptions. It's easy to use and it's actually pretty good for quick inspiration. So it can give you 10 headline variations for a webinar ad, and you could use the 3 best based on your past CTR data. So feed it what's worked well in the past and ask it to give you more. Con, although I wouldn't say it's a con, I'd say it's kind of an opportunity, is that human editing is needed to stay on brand and avoid cliches. And I don't see that necessarily as a con of the tool, but as a reality of anything you're doing in AI. The copy that it's going to spit out is not going to have those nuances of tone of voice. It might not connect on that empathetic level. So really editing it to make sure it's on brand. Try to pull out the cliches. I know we're seeing with AI generated copy again and again, there's just some cliche patterns of rule of threes and colons and dashes and the long dash and those sorts of things. So make sure you're editing to keep it on brand and so it doesn't feel like you generated it in a machine. And then the last one is pencil. So this is predictive creative generation based on performance insights. So it tests and formats and gives performance predictions. So, a direct-to-consumer brand might plug in old meta ad data and then get new video ads based on historical winners. So it's going to look at what's performed creatively in the past and work you new examples based on that. The drawbacks here is it can be quite pricey. So again, might not be for small businesses as much. And it works best with consistent data input. So you need to make sure you have some historical, high quality insights that you can put in and data that you can put in to make sure the results you get are relevant. Next, let's look at launch and optimization. So as we know, the channels are building AI at every step. So you've got Meta Advantage Plus, you've got Google Performance Max. So these are native AI-powered campaign types within the platforms themselves. So a service business might run PMax with just a few assets, and it lets Google dynamically serve the best versions. So the pros here are smart asset combinations, dynamic placements, hands-off optimization. The cons that we know, and we know because we test these against campaigns we build ourselves, we test these against historical campaigns. Number one, you have limited visibility and control over where the budget is spent. So that can mean your ads turning up in places you don't really want them to turn up. There's also limited access to insights of at a deeper level what's happened. So we don't get to understand at a deeper level who saw the ad or which creative performed to which target market and those sorts of things. We also know, especially with Meta, there's a lot of optimizations that as brand custodians we do not like. So yes, Meta can do hands-off optimization of your creative and of your campaign, but you might then see some pretty scary imagery out in the market. I think Britt Saunders from Fate was sharing some pretty scary optimizations that Meta was trying to do over in a TikTok the other day and taking the model off the background she was on and putting her in some usage cases that just weren't relevant. So Meta Advantage Plus and Google Performance Max, we're going to be pushed more and more towards using that. But while we can enact manual optimization where we can intercept and turn off optimizations that we don't want, I'd really encourage you to do so. The next one is Magix, so Madgicx. This is about full campaign optimization and creative analytics. So it's quite an in-depth platform. It's going to be where an agency or a company that has quite a big budget is going to use it to identify ad fatigue signals, to rotate fresh creative. So there's a lot it can do in terms of looking at what's going on and taking actions for that. It uses automations, analytics, creative scoring, and really make sure that a campaign is performing at its best. Now, obviously, the campaign itself needs a lot of budget for that to have enough learnings and also for it to do enough optimization and work. It needs quite a learning curve, so you would need some time to understand it and to really get the most out of it. And it's probably better suited to high ad spenders or agencies that are managing those high ad spend campaigns as well. Let's talk about analytics and reporting, always favorite area for me. So we've got agency analytics, Dash This, Report Garden. So we currently use agency analytics in our agency. We've used it for about a year. It does custom dashboards. It does scheduled reports. It does live reports. So kind of once you set up your, say, your monthly reporting template, you can go in and look at that and manipulate the dates. So you can go in and change around the dates. For us, that's something that we're sending out every month. If you're a freelancer, that might be something where, you've got to send weekly reports to a couple of clients. And once you've got those templates in place, you're able to just download a PDF of last week and update your commentary. The dashboards can be good as well if you've got clients or if you yourself just love at a glance that you can look at any time. The dashboards in these programs are really great for that. Pros are most are white label ready. So if you are somebody producing reports to send out to others, you don't have to have the branding of the reporting company on there. And just really about time efficiency, being able to see that data on any given day. But again, for those reports to be able to quickly spit out those reports. And then the cons can be limited on the deep insights it gives you. Really good for snapshots, but not diagnostic, which is pretty good for client-facing campaigns generally. What we do is we use all the data, let all the data pour in from the agency analytics from all the different platforms, and then we write our own commentary against it. You can also use AI commentary in these programs as well, generate the insights and then edit them appropriately, or you can, look at the data and be able to interpret that. And that's also going to depend on who you're writing the report for and their understanding level as to how you then interpret and write that data in a way that they can understand the insights as well. But great tools, great time savers, and really good for sharing that information. Then obviously you can go over to ChatGPT and you can do advanced data analysis in ChatGPT. So importing your CSVs, analyzing trends, writing summaries, drop your meta ad CSV straight into ChatGPT and ask which creatives dropped in CTR this week, and it'll be able to give you those insights. You can even create a bot. So you could create a bot and standardize those routine things you want it to look at in data. So then you're just updating, you're opening your bot, it's saying, hey, give me the data. You give it the data and then it spits out all the insights that you want on a regular basis. That could be a way that you analyze data weekly without having to pull it down, filter it in Excel, look at it this way, look at it that way. ChatGPT can give you those recommendations. They can be written, they can be database. So the pros are obviously so versatile. You can do so much comparing performance quickly, shortcutting the amount of other types of analysis you need to do. But the downside of this is obviously it's not in real time. So as opposed to something like agency analytics, if you've got a dashboard in there, you can change the date whenever you need. Where in ChatGPT, you do still have to go pull down the data, upload it, ask your questions and see. So wrapping up, that is a lot of tools to think about and to test and try. So you've got your strategy tools like Smartly.io, RevealBot, and ChatGPT. For creative, we've got Creative.AI, Pencil, and Copy.ai. Launching, you've got your Advantage Plus, PMax, and then MadGix. And then analytics, things like Agency Analytics, Dash This, Report Garden, and ChatGPT Advanced. So, AI is not going to replace your work. It's just going to make you efficient and more effective. It's going to save you time. And building that perfect tech stack and putting AI through that tech stack is just going to mean that your workflow can run smoother and those repetitive tasks don't have to be so repetitive. I'd love to know what you're using that I haven't mentioned today, what you use it for, and why you love it. So please reach out on Instagram or LinkedIn and share those details. And I'll be back to chat to you again soon. That's a wrap on another episode of Ready, Set, Paid Ads. If you're looking for done-for-you services, training to upskill you in ads management, or free and paid resources to help you plan and execute better ads, head to wiseupmarketing.com.au. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe for future episodes. And if you know someone that would love this podcast too, go on and share it.